Leaky roofs, broken floors, open doors. So when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, man. So this is behind the scenes, and man, when I tell y'all this was not just a video shoot. This was an experience. And shout out to my guy Timby. That's my dude Timby right there that you see that's soaking wet. Man, it was perfectly rainy that day. And man, like you know, it was a risk that we had to take because it went so perfect with the video shoot and the lyrics to the song. And so I'll give you a quick backstory on this, right? So I met Timby actually through my brother who's behind the other camera here, my brother Calvin, who's filming me and Timby right now. And so me and Calvin, we shot a video years ago, and that song was called Stay. That's Calvin's song. And so Timby shot the video to that, and so that's what kept me in touch with Timby, because he did such an excellent job on the editing process of that Stay song. And I was like, man, I you know, I had resources here in Detroit, but I was like, you know, I don't really feel like anybody in the city can really get this vision accomplished, you know, like Timby would. So yeah, I had lost his number though. You know, actually I didn't even have his number to begin with. I had his Instagram, but I had hopped off social media and all of that. And so I had to try to go find his phone number somewhere. And man, thank the Lord, man, I found his phone number. And I reached out to him, and you know, we was able to get him up here in Detroit, and it happened, you know. So this was our first shoot. This was our first day shooting, and the shoot went really well. The shoot actually took, wow, it took about 4 months to get this video to perfection. And I'll get into, you know, that a little bit later of why the video took the length of time that it did. But quick story on this house that you're looking at. This house is actually the house that I grew up in. And you know, my mom still owns this house. And you know, I hadn't looked at this house in a while. And so I just felt compelled to just drive over here one day. And this was probably maybe the early part of the summer. And when I drove over and looked at the house, I looked at the condition and I said, wow, this house fits the description of majority of the lyrics in the song. And when I wrote the song, I did not have this house in mind at all. Like when I was writing the song, I wasn't even really talking about an actual house. I was talking about a person. And I was using the house, you know, metaphorically to describe the person, you know. And so when I saw it, I was like, man, this is perfect. You know, this is, you know, I don't have to worry about trespassing or anything like that, because my mom owns this house, you know, so I have the permission to use it. You know, some of these abandoned houses, you know, you can't trespass or go in these houses. You know, it was a few things I had to do to it, because the house wasn't necessarily boarded up, you know, but it's not livable. So what I was led to do was, you know, to go to Home Depot, get some plywood, throw it on those windows, and make it look more like it was abandoned, you know, so that it'll you know, tell the story a little bit stronger. And so yeah, like it was so much fun. Like, I mean, you know, in the rain, and it was just a risk that had to be taken. It was like, man, we got to do this, you know, like this is the perfect weather, you know. Like, I really feel like, you know, the Lord was on my side with recording it that day, because, you know, that rain just added more more feel to the video. It added more. It just made the story even stronger. You know, like I'm out there getting rained on, and talk about like, you know, symbolically or metaphorically getting rained on. You know, when, you know, I said the line, when it rains it pours. Like, you know, I didn't even expect it to rain that day. So when it was raining, I was like, oh yeah, we gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take this risk. Hey Timby, we gonna have to shoot this in the rain, bro. You know, so that's what we did. And I had an umbrella. I said, man, look, take my umbrella and let's do this. And so you know, his camera wasn't waterproof or anything, so we had to really be careful with it, but we had to get that thing done. And so like what you're looking at now, this is like the first idea I had, but this idea didn't really succeed like that. You know, some videos you see like there's like that person's point of view, and he was basically trying to attach his GoPro to me, but we ended up not using the GoPro footage. I didn't like the quality of it. It was like the camera that you saw earlier where he was like under the umbrella, that camera is out cold. And I said, man, it's more to that camera. It's more to that camera with this whole experience. But yeah, this, because what I wanted to paint right here on this picture is I wanted to make the people feel like they were getting a like first person point of view going into the house. And so he was trying to basically make me walk with the GoPro on into the house. And so yeah, like I said, it didn't work, but it's all good. It's all good. You know, I just feel like God was really, he was ordering my steps through this experience. Like he was showing me like, okay, don't do it this way. Like, okay, you may see it this way, but Proverbs 16:9, a man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. And that is exactly what this whole process was. So like I said, the house wasn't necessarily abandoned. So, you know, I had to look up like a decent no trespassing sign and actually print it out. So, you know, I had to go to like after we finished like shooting in the rain, like we wanted to get the rain out of the way. I think, yeah, we did establish that we was gonna need, we said we was gonna come back. That's what it was. So Timby, because I knew that when we shot in the rain, it was stuff that I knew we still didn't get. And I was like, man, I gotta get him to record the part where I say I've been a threat to my neighbors, so I'm under surveillance. Like, I have to get footage of that part. So we got out of the rain for a little while, and you know, that gave me time to, you know, dry off and everything. You know, went to the studio and pretty much, you know, I printed the no trespassing sign out, and then I think that day, let me see, that was a Friday, and it rained all day that day. It was probably off and on, and so we knew that it wasn't gonna really be a good idea to try to get that part while it was rainy all day. I feel like God was strategically doing that as well, where it's like, hey, like, not today. So Timby was in town for a couple of days, so, you know, we did what we could that Friday, and then that following Monday we linked back up together. So that's where you see in the video it's different. The weather looks kind of different on certain days, and that actually, I felt like that actually added more detail to the video as well, because I think it would have made the video less interesting if the whole thing was shot in the rain. Like, you know, you want to keep the people engaged. So I think that after a while the rain would have became disengaging, you know, for the viewers. So to kind of see the weather change and things like that, you know, rain, you know, when it rains, sometimes that depicts like, okay, like different different trials happening in your life. And so it's like the whole song is not about the trial of going through abandonment. You know, like the second half of the song is, you know, like, okay, this is how I overcame abandonment. So, yeah. So, you know, I'm here in the studio, like I said, you know, looking up that sign to print out. And I was actually trying to use the studio for the bedroom scene as well, but it did not work. The bedroom scene in the studio didn't work. It didn't look abandoned enough. And the reason why we were trying to do the studio is because my mom could not find the key. She could not find the key to the house. So, you know, of course, that was discouraging to me when, you know, she couldn't find the key. But I've learned to step out of God's way, you know, through shooting this video. And just to trust that the way that he sees it should be is going to be the most effective. I did see this thing a certain way when I was first writing the song and when we were shooting the video. Like in the upcoming clip, you're gonna see two things. You're gonna hear about how I didn't really want to perform in this. I wanted it to just be all houses at first. I didn't really want to be on the camera, but I'm actually glad Timby made me get out my comfort zone and do that, because I feel like it added to it. And then also, the house you're gonna see in the next clip is actually the house on the same street, but that's actually the house we ended up having to use the inside of to tell the story. And this is an actual abandoned house. And the condition of it on the inside was perfect. Like, I mean, it looked just hideous on the inside. So I was like, man, okay, well, maybe the inside of, you know, my childhood house don't look as bad as this one, and we need something that look a little more run down. So yeah, so I'm gonna stop talking for a minute. I'm gonna let y'all get into this little clip right here. All right, well, it's official. We're done with the video shoot, and we man, this is the house I grew up in. I mean, I'm sorry, the street I grew up on. And so shout out to Timby on the camera right here.
What's up?
We yeah man, we just finished wrapping up, and yeah man, stay tuned for the video. Yep. And yeah man, that's a wrap. I already know what else to say, so I'm gonna go ahead and chime on out of here. Yeah, I guess I just do it like a wrap up review.
What'd you feel about the shoot, bro?
Man, incredible. You know, Timby on the camera, you know, Timby and Calvin on the behind the scenes, and I just man, I'm excited to see what this shoot is gonna turn out like, because you know, Timby stretched me out my comfort zone. A lot of things I didn't want to do. I don't like to perform. You know, I'm just for the people out there, so they know, I don't like performing on camera. Like I don't like being seen. I wanted the video to more so focus on the street and the houses versus looking at me. But as we were shooting and everything, and Timby was showing me like the different shoots and everything like that, I was like, okay, I see what this is gonna turn out like. And then, you know, it's also ultimately, I feel like it's God wanting to stretch me out my comfort zone. You know, getting in front of this camera challenges my comfort zone. I don't like I said, I don't like being seen. I don't like hopping on the camera. Like, that's not the kind of person I am. I'm a behind the scenes type of person. So, but what we did, he had me doing a lot of performances, and I think that once he edits this, man, I'm gonna be patient. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm just let him do his thing. But I think it's gonna be incredible once the video is finished. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Overall, I think it was a great shoot. I would say, you know, we had the rain, so definitely we did face a bunch of challenges, but we were able to work around, you know, the rain and the weather. And
the rain was perfect though.
It was perfect way it worked out, you know.
Because leaky roofs, broken floors is one of my lyrics. So it worked out perfectly. But he had to shoot in the rain though. He ain't with the camera to get wet up. So
yeah. And, it was definitely a privilege to dive into your story. and be part of creating the visuals and watching how it all unfolded. And like you said, I think God is definitely in the in-betweens of every shoot, you know, directing. We can plan, but it always set obstacles that we face that I think it's, you know, it's divine order of like trying to guide us to the right locations and the right settings. And like I said, this is the last scene. You can see the house is the last location. So we were able to like get in there and get a few experimental shots because, you know, it's a very intricate video. And I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. I can't wait to edit it. And my brother definitely brought his A game. So, hey, man, do your thing.
Man, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
I got his belly right. I got to go eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah, same here. I'm about to go take a shower. I'm about to go eat and go to the studio. Well, at least I thought that the video shoot was done that day. Little did I know, God was just making that thing the beginning. And you'll see why later on throughout the video. But, you know, the summer was fun. I'm gonna say that. The summer was pretty fun. Like, me and my church family, like, we went to Florida twice, you know, in the year 2021. And you know, the first time we went, it was just, you know, for vacation's sake, and it was also, you know, my birthday. You know, my birthday fell on that vacation time as well. So I actually celebrated my birthday down there, and I also you know, dropped the album on my birthday. And so when we decided, okay, we're gonna go to Florida again, it just so happened that this was my plans, right? I was like, okay, man, that'd be sweet. Like if, you know, drop the album while I was in Florida on vacation. And then, oh man, we finna go to Florida again, for Labor Day weekend. Or no, it wasn't necessarily Labor Day weekend, but we went like the first week of September. And, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, God was going to allow me to be able to drop the video. Okay, all right, you know, all right, Throne, you got to drop the album for your birthday, and you was in Florida. All right, you know, maybe God is allowing you to come to Florida again and drop the video, you know, celebrate the drop of the video while you in Florida again. You know, that's me leaning to my own understanding, right? All right, well, we here. We in the airport. All right, Apostle Macario, the one and only prophet songman. This man been on a roll ever since we got to the airport in Michigan. Yeah. Let me dap this man up. This man been winning souls all flight. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes from this guy. All right, so I'm not gonna film in the bathroom. Let me stop this.
This is your second flight. How was it?
Man, it was good. It was good as far as like the takeoff and all that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the takeoff,
Okay.
but after a while you get used to it. And then the landing was straight. You know, it sounded like they might need some oil on their brakes, but it's all good. You know, so. Here we are, man. I'm ready to enjoy my church family, man. Wonderful people, man, that I'm around. We about to have a good time, man. We about to be down here and represent Christ. Man, we about to have fun. We about to get refreshed. It's about to just be a bundle of different stuff that's gonna happen. And then if I'm gonna use this footage for the behind the scenes of the abandoned house shoot, I just talked to Timby today. So he gonna get the revision to me on Friday.
Okay.
So we gonna see what happened with that. So while we down, cause I want to release it Labor Day, which is Monday. So we gonna see. We gonna see if that's how the Lord set it up. If we like it, if we like how it look, then that's what we gonna do. So we gonna see what I use this video footage for.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What cologne do you have?
I got on frankincense and myrrh.
Man, that stuff smells blessed.
Man, and you know what? I see why when they came to offer the gifts to Christ when he was a baby, they used frankincense and myrrh as one of those gifts. Because, man, this stuff smells good, man. Bro, like, I'm telling you, bro, like, I've been doing this, like, all day. Like, man, this, man, I ain't gonna go crazy, but Yeah, it smelled good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
That was like maybe, that was about a month and a half later that we flew out to Florida after that video shoot. And, you know, I was thinking that, you know, Timby would be finished editing. Like I was patient because I knew that this video, it was gonna take a lot of work. So I didn't want to rush him at all. So, you know, I let him know like, hey, I want to try to drop it by Labor Day. When I got the first draft, Timby did an excellent job, but one of the things I felt like the video lacked was a few other scenes that I wish we had gotten. And at that time, I feel like God purposely allowed the resources to be limited, because in the process, right? So when I saw the first draft, I told him a few edits I wanted him to do, and so you know, he made those edits, and then he sent me another draft. I looked at it, and I was like, I like it. It looks good, but it's still just it's not shofar, you know. It's we should have got more footage. Like, that was the conclusion I came to. And so it took me on this journey. I want to say that was like September. That was, yeah. So you could say like all of September and all of October, right? Like August was just chill mode. I was just kicking back, just letting Timby take his time with editing the video. And then September was, you know, when I first got to see it. And I was like, nah, it need more. It still need more work. I just didn't feel at peace about putting it out yet. And so what I had to do is I had to take a leap of faith. I asked Timby, you know, because Timby had already flew back to you know, Baton Rouge, you know, and so I couldn't get him back up here in Detroit to get the other scenes. So I was like, man, you know, what camera? Like, he had multiple cameras, right? I didn't like the GoPro's quality. I didn't like, it was another camera he used too. I didn't really like the quality. But his editing was a game though, but I still just didn't like the motion of those cameras. They just felt too raw to me or something. Like, but that one camera, like the one camera like that you saw, like, I was like, man, that camera, what kind of camera is that? You know, so I'm asking him that, and so he told me, and so I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna have to invest in that camera, and I'm gonna have to go out and get this additional footage myself. And so I did that, you know. So I got the camera, and then let me tell you also how God is so out cold. I was working on a Windows computer pretty much all my life, and it's like out of nowhere, out of the blue, it's like he like pushed me into switching to Apple, right? So I already had an Apple computer by the time we were shooting the video. And so, you know, for you video editors out there, Final Cut Pro, that's what Timby was using to edit the video footage with. And I was like, man, I asked him, man, can you send me all of the footage you got? I said, man, because it's send me all the footage you got and send me the actual file. And so, you know, Final Cut Pro had this 90-day trial I could try out. So I was like, man, let me download this and let me start looking at tutorials on how to use this. And man, like, it became so fun, right? Like, I got all the footage. I had the actual project file with all the footage that he used and all of the edits that he did already. So I was able to go in and touch and take out what I needed, move around what I needed, and then I was able to add in that additional footage I went out to get myself. And so like next thing you know, through this process, I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, you know, I already produce, you know, I already record, engineer, I mix and master. You know, I do all of that with my music. And I was like, man, like I never saw myself editing or shooting my videos. I was like, man, I want to leave that to other people. And like in the future, I'm probably still going to utilize Timby for other, you know, other work. But if it's something I can do single-handedly, I feel like God has granted me that ability. Like I feel like He showed me through this process, like this is another gift that I'm giving you. Because when I was going in there, like, to be honest with y'all, like for those creators out there, like this felt like this didn't feel too much similar. This didn't feel too much different from creating beats, because when I create beats, like, you know, I already be visualizing when I create beats. So like, and I be hearing, you know, it's like when I'm making beats, I have to use my ears. But when I was editing this video, I was using my eyes. That's the best way I can kind of put it. It's like, but it's the same concept. It's like, okay, it's like, I don't know. I just knew, like, man, this scene do not go with those drums, or this scene don't go with that lyric. Like I just knew, like I was just visualizing and seeing like the scene that would go with the right lyrics and the right bars that I was saying in the song. And so as I was just editing the rest of the video, now I gotta give credit where it's due. Timby put a lot of work into the editing, you know, so that's why the credits say it was directed by me and him, because I wouldn't have been able to finish the editing process had he not done what he did first. I would have been lost if I would have just went in there initially. So it was like God set it up to where he did the editing process first, and it gave me a jump start. So when I went in there, I was kind of able to look at what he did and learn from it. And so it was so much fun. Like, I mean, I wanted to release this thing, like I said, on Labor Day, but that wasn't God's plan. That wasn't His plan. And I'm glad that I didn't jump ahead of Him, because editing the video, like it really taught me patience. And I was like, man, what am I in a rush for? I would much rather this video be edited the right way, because I only want to put this thing out one time. I don't want to put this out and then be looking at it later down the line like, man, I wish I would have did that scene like that, or did this scene like this. I wanted to take my time with it, make sure it was right, get all of the right scenes. So, you know, it was different things we did, right, when Timby was here, where he had got my footage of my friends and everything, and we did like the stump scene and everything like that. We did that, but it didn't look right the first time we did it, and so we had to redo that scene. I had to actually get the team together one more time, and this time I had the same camera. And so we were able to film it again, and that was just it was fun. That's all. That's the best way I can put it. Like the process was just, it was really fun to me, and it just made me appreciate it. It made me more appreciative. It made me appreciate that God basically had me pump the brakes and made sure that I didn't jump ahead of Him. So the people in this video, You know, these are people that were very instrumental in my recovery. Like, I went through a really, really, really hard time in the year 2020. And these were the people that God sent into my life to basically help pick me back up and help put me back together. Because make the long story short, I had went through a divorce in 2020. You know, I had went through you know, being separated from, you know, multiple people, and that really you want to talk about abandonment? I mean, that was just a piece of it. You know, that wasn't the first time I experienced abandonment, but that was like the thing that made everything else from childhood sprout up, right? Like, that was the thing that just kind of, like they say, put the icing on the cake. You know, so these people, you know, in this video, you know, have been very instrumental in my recovery process. And so just a few, you know, things I want to say about this, right, is one of the individuals, which is my guy Eric, that's the bald guy. So, you know, Eric is, you know, some years older than us, and so Eric was able to make the first shoot, but Eric ended up getting in a really, really busy season by the time the second shoot came around. So that was July, about July 16th that we all came together the first time, and then I got everybody back together around October. Now Eric was in a different season, so he wasn't able to make it, but I was like, okay, I want to still find a way to tie this together where, okay, man, like he was an instrumental part of my recovery. So I want to keep things organic and honest, but I really had wanted him to be a part of the new stump scene that we was gonna shoot, because he was in the first one, as you saw. But you know what I just did is I just left him on the part where we say real friends is knocking at my door, just to kind of show that, hey, this individual was there, you know, but you don't see him throughout the rest of the video, but you know, you ought to know, okay, but that individual, he was still there, you know, when I was going through my storm. You have Apostle Macario, who is actually who I sit up under leadership wise, and the way God sent him into my life was very, very, very strategic. So that's why in the first draft you saw Apostle Macario and you saw Eric both holding my arms up, because that's how it felt in that season. It's like basically when I was in the hospital, if you listen to the entire album, you're gonna hear on track 4 I talk about being in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, Eric was one of the main people, you know, supporting me. Of course my family was supporting me, you know, but when it came to like finding out who my true friends were, you know, people I expected to check on me didn't check on me, but it was people from the outside that God sent and showed that these are the people that you want to be around. And so Eric was one of those people. There's another individual, you couldn't see his face in one of the drafts, the first and second drafts, but my guy Quincy. So we didn't use that footage where they were putting the couch down, because it just didn't feel right. You know, it just didn't feel right with the story, so we didn't use it. But Quincy and Eric, at the time when I was in the hospital and just recovering and being restored, they were two individuals. Quincy is actually, if you listen to my album, Quincy is actually my feature on track number 10, which is Thorn in My Side. And so in that season, I received a lot of prayer from them. And so I'm just a person, like, I give honor to people that, you know, had some kind of, how can I put it? They had some kind of, like, these people took time to really pour into me. But going back to Apostle Macario, the way that God actually linked the two of us was basically when I was married. Me and my ex went to this event, and we actually met him at this event, and so he became an individual that would record in the studio with me. And so that was in 2018. And so in 2020, you know, me and him, we probably didn't see each other for probably about a year. And so after everything happened, right, after being in the hospital, after getting out the hospital and everything, a few weeks went by, and I was just, you know, during that time I was talking to Eric a lot. And then this is what happened, right? This is what happened. So Apostle Macario felt the Spirit of the Lord tell him to reach out to me about a song that he needed to get mixed and mastered. And so when we linked back up, of course we worked on the song, but then, you know, he knew who my ex was as well. And so we ended up just talking about what had recently happened. And so make the long story short, it led to so much, how can I put this? It led to God showing me that, okay, the people I'm bringing around you are the people that I ordained for you to be around. Like, this was supposed to happen. Like, the divorce you went through, like, it basically, it didn't push you down. It didn't like make you draw back, or it didn't make you go backwards. It catapulted you. You know, it pushed you and moved you into the season you needed to be in, and it put you around a circle of people that you needed to be around. And so I tell you, like, even like I like these people, I couldn't even write this song. I couldn't even write all of this entire song without them being a part of the story, you know. So that is why I felt it strongly on my heart, like, I need them to be in this scene. So when they say real friends is knocking at my door, that was a real thing. Like, I had so many walls up when God was sending everybody into my life who I hadn't been in contact with these people for a minute, but God brought them back around. And so except for Prophet Sungman, which is the one who was filming me, y'all met him already. But I met him through Apostle Macario. Solid guy. That is my guy. But you know, I tell you, like, it is always a joy when I get around these people. You know, like, it's always refreshing when I get around these people. Like these, I you know, I've been in different circles in times past, and I always felt, I always kind of felt like a sore thumb, you know, and now I feel like God is really, especially with us being in this last hour, right? Like, Christ is getting ready to come back. And I needed to be around a team of people that was equipped and know how to help me be equipped. Like when God talk about, you know, us submitting to one another, like these are people that I can submit to. You know, these are people that I know that they truly, truly, truly love Christ. And these people challenge me every time I get around them. These people challenge me to do better. They challenge me to grow in Christ. They really add. They really add to me. And you know, you know, they tell me I add to them as well. So it's a two-edged sword. But yeah. I don't even know where to go from here. This thing is organic. I don't know, man. It might be almost time to end this. I didn't even expect to do this today, y'all. It just fell on my heart to do it. So, you know, so y'all have already met, you know, you've met Apostle Macario, you've met Eric, you've met Prophet Songman. You've also met Quincy as well. But you know, last but not least, I definitely gotta shout out my sister Kenja. And we address her actually as Evangelist Kenja within the ministry that we are all a part of. And so and I gotta shout out baby girl, who you see, she's actually in the video as well. Man, I love that little girl. That's Mackenzie. And so man, Mackenzie, she got some of her ways, but Mackenzie is a breath of fresh air. You know, it is out cold the way God will not allow you to be connected to certain people for a season, but then he'll bring people back around, right? Kenja was one of those key people. Like, I mean, all of them. Prophet Songman was the only new person. Like, you know, I've known Prophet Songman for a little over a year now. But everybody else I've known for a couple of years now. Now, Eric, Quincy, and Kenja I've known for the longest. And, you know, Kenja I've known since 2014. And, you know, we would chop it up, you know, here and there. Like we would get in touch and everything, like, and you know, that was like something probably every year. But when I got married in 2017, and you know, I didn't really talk to a lot of sisters during that time. I was just trying to be, what do you call it? Like, I was trying to, I don't know. I was trying to make my ex like my primary focus as far as like the opposite sex, you know. So I wasn't really keeping in touch with a lot of sisters when I was married. And so, but right before I went through the divorce and everything, like, you know, I had a quick conversation with my sister Kenja on the phone, just touching bases and everything. And it was like God wasn't allowing the connection to really like happen yet, you know, or let's say the reconnection. And so after everything happened, right after, you know, like my circle had changed, and after you know, the divorce was you know, like ruled by the court and everything like that, it was like that was when God like really began to solidify my new circle. And you know, God, like, I want to say it was about maybe March of 2020 that, you know, I had, you know, talked to Kenja, and then we were able to reconnect probably about October of 2020. And you know, it's just out cold how God will move you around. And when God moves you around, it's not just for your own benefit, right? It's for the benefit of somebody else. So I was, and I don't like to be the middleman. I don't like to claim to be anybody's middleman. God can use anybody he wants to. It's just that God chose to use me to help my sister get connected to the circle that we all are a part of now, right? So like we all are a church family now. And I just look back and I'm like, man, like what if all of that stuff that never happened? Like what if all that stuff never happened, right? Like because of like me and my sister knowing each other, like and one day I felt compelled to share one of Apostle Macario's videos with her, and that's what started things, right? Like, you know, we were already meeting as it was Apostle Macario, and it was Prophet Songman, the three of us at first. And then after that, we, you know, Kendra started coming around. And so after a while, like, God dealt with her, and she knew that she was supposed to be a part of the church family as well. You know, so she wasn't with us on the first Florida trip. It was just the guys. So it was me, it was Apostle Macario, and it was Prophet Sungman. But the second time it was, you know, her and baby girl, you know, came along with us. And so I am just amazed at how God can, when he says that like all things work together for good for they that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose, that is a true statement. And it don't just work together for my good. Like so many people have used Romans 8:28 for their own benefit. It's for the benefit of other people as well. So when God like takes you through a hard season, it's supposed to work together for good on your behalf, but also it's supposed to work together for good on the behalf of the people you're supposed to reach. So, you know, my you know, my season of going through all of that distress and being separated from people and being reconnected to new people, like it allowed me and my sister to be back in reconnection. And then it allowed my sister to get disconnected from people that she didn't need to be around anymore, and now get connected to people she needed to be around. So, you know, I don't even know yet what the purpose of this video is for. I don't know. Like, it was just on my heart. I came in the studio today. I was just like, man, you know what? Let me do this behind the scenes thing. I got the footage. Like, let me just take a stab at it. So, I don't know, like, whoever hears this, whoever sees this, like, I hope this has encouraged you. I believe that I'm at that point now where I'm supposed to close this thing out, because this thing is almost an hour long. But I do really pray that this encourages you and lets you know, like, if you've gone through a similar situation, if you've gone through abandonment, if you've gone through being ostracized or cut off or wrote off by people, man, you know, God has a way of flipping that thing around. So everything the enemy wanted to try to accomplish in my life, he didn't. It's like every time they tried, like the enemy tried to push me down, it's like God in some kind of way lifted me up. As long as I stayed humble. Now, if I would have been in my pride, then that wouldn't have been the case. But like, I really have been like pursuing humility like never before. And so, like, be encouraged with the journey that God has you on. Like, understand that, like, it ain't just for you. You know, our lives are not our own. You know, like, there are people, like if you, like, you cannot kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that, because when God said that, like, by one man's disobedience sin entered the world, and then he also talked about how through one man's obedience, you know, people were able to be redeemed. Like, that is a true statement, and it goes to show you that our obedience is important to God. So, like, killing yourself is disobedience to God. You're trying to decide your own death date, and that you have to leave that up to God. So I don't know who's gonna hear this. I just felt like I was supposed to make this. And so at this point, I think it's time for me to close it out. And, you know, I hope that I've said something in this 40 minutes or 40 to 50 minutes that has encouraged you. I'm sure that, you know, whoever's supposed to watch this, like, you got something out of this. This ain't just a behind the scenes video, but this is also just, it's the story behind it. It's more than behind the scenes. It's the story behind this thing. I was gonna call this behind the scenes, but now it's gonna be called the story behind it. So yeah, you know, God is good, and He's always good. They say that. I've heard people say this statement plenty of times. You know, God is good all the time. God is good, but that is a true statement. I'm 30 years old now, and like I just never would have thought God would have done things the way He did it, you know. And for whoever out there, you know, needed to see this video, you got work to do, man, or woman. Like, you got work to do, and you just gotta you gotta ride that season out. Whatever season you in right now, if you in a season where you don't feel like God is with you, you don't, like, seek Him, you know, repent like never before, you know, and find out what it is that he wants you to do. Because God don't just, he don't waste, he doesn't waste His chastening. You know, God, He chastens those He loves. And so that could be you out there. You could be in a season of chastening. You know, you could be in a season of God just continuing to purify your heart. And I advise you that you stay there. Don't do anything prematurely. Don't take matters into your own hands. Allow God to continue to process you, because all things work together for good for they that love Him, for they that are called according to His purpose. And you gotta hold on to that. You have to. So yeah, man, this wasn't planned. You know, you got to take this thing a day at a time. I'm taking it a day at a time. I didn't plan on coming in the studio and doing this, you know, but must have some kind of purpose. Somebody must need to hear this. So just doing what I'm feeling led to do. Well, all right. Okay, now this video is definitely, like, lengthy, but yeah. All right, y'all. I mean, look, I'm gonna close, okay? I'm gonna close for real now. So, email me, All right, I'm gonna put my email in the comments. If you feel like this video encouraged you, you felt like it lifted you in some kind of way, email me. Or if you want to hear more about the story behind this, shoot your boy an email. All right, well, I'm signing out.
I was sitting over there and the Holy Spirit said, look at that room. I looked and I saw like an image on the wall. And I was like, okay.
Oh my God, bro.
Because we were in here this whole time. I didn't notice that before. Probably someone said he saw it earlier, but
Oh
the
man.
Holy Spirit was like, that might be fresh to put at the end of the video.
I thought it was related to witchcraft.
The tree of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came and read it. And when I read it, I was like, okay, that'll be fresh to put in the video. And then at the end of it, when you're ready to root out the problem, Jesus. Or the answer is Jesus. When you're ready to root out the problem, the answer is Jesus. Now you said this was before you were gonna do it, or guys just had this.
This is what I was led. I was led to come on this floor.
And this helps because God made it rain all day when we didn't record